Okay, so now let's get start with ways to create a NumPy array. Now the first way to create a NumPy array was using a regular Python list or a tuple using an array function. So we used the np.array function in the last program, which is what we have to do. But initially, the first thing that you have always got to do is import NumPy as np. Once you do that, now what you can do is b is equal to np.array, and then I'm going to add a list of tuples, and this is how I define from a list of tuples. Okay, now if I print b, obviously I'm going to get my NumPy array, which is this. Okay, now what I can do is I can create an array from a list of lists. Okay, so that's the second thing, from a list of lists. Now how does this look? Again, c is equal to np.array. Again, in the parenthesis I'm going to add a list, and in this list I'm going to add two lists, okay, separated by a comma. There you go. In the first list I'm going to add some few variables, that is 12, 34, 56, 78, and the second one I'm going to add 87, 54, 32 and 98. There you go. So this is my np.array using a list of lists. Okay, but when I do this, okay, I need to let's see if this runs. Obviously it runs. Okay, but I can also do it this way, where I can specify a data type. Okay, so I can do put this list of list out here, and then I can do a comma, d type is equal to, and float. Now if I do it this way, all these are going to be float values. Okay, now I can mention any data type that I want out here, which is obviously relevant, and that's another way of creating a NumPy array. I can also create a NumPy array from a tuple. How does that work? From a tuple. So d is equal to np.array into brackets, and I'm adding a tuple in this. 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. And sorry, I've not printed this out. So print d, and it's going to print it out in the form of an np array, which is 1, 2, 3. Okay. Let me make it as now if there are two tuples here, I'll make it a list of tuples like this, and I'm going to print it out. Okay, so that is that. Now sometimes at the start, all elements of the array are not known. So you can use placeholder content and create an array, and then later you can edit the values of the array and add whatever content you want. So let's say I want to create an array of shape. Now you're old enough to know what is the shape of an array of shape 3, 4. Okay, with all zeros, right? Zeros. Now how do we do that? Okay, for this we have to use a function called np.zeros. So e is equal to np.zeros into bracket first I'm going to add 3 comma 4 comma, I've got to specify the data type, which is integer. Now when I print E, okay, what is 3 comma 4? 3 comma 4 means 3 rows and 4 columns. So it's gonna give me there you go. So 3 rows and 4 columns, all of them with 0. If I do this data type as float, it's gonna give me 0 points. There you go. So that is that. Okay, create an array of shape 3, 4 with all zeros. Let's do another thing. Okay, create an array with all same values 9 of shape 3, 4, 5. Okay, this is a shape. Okay, so now let's see. I want all values to be 9. Okay, now for this I'm going to create f is equal to np.full. Okay, np.full. Again I'm going to add the shape that I want, 4, 5. Then I'm going to add the variable that I want to fill it with. Okay, and then d type is equal to int. Now it's going to give me 4, 5 all 9s. Oh, I've not printed it out, so print f. There we go. Let me just make this go slightly up. Okay, one moment. My mouse has turned sticky. There. Okay. Yes. 999. So 4, 5 is 4 rows and 5 columns, all with 9. I can also make this data type complex. Okay. Now, what is complex? Let's see. There you go. 9 plus 0j. All 9 plus 0j's are out here. So this is an arrow with all same values using np.full. Okay. Now, create an array with random values. Okay, now how do we do that? Of shape, let's take a shape 3, 3. Okay, it's a good shape to have, and here's how we do it. G is equal to np.random. Okay, dot random again, and then we do the shape 2, 2. Okay, let's see if this works. Print G. There you go. So, oh, we did 2, 2. We are supposed to do 3, 3, isn't it? So there. This works. We get random float elements out here, which are there. Okay. Now, you can do many more such things. Okay. Let's do something else. One sec. Let me create a single dimensional array. Okay. With a sequence of integers with steps of 5. Now we learned how to jump, right? In strings. Same way we can do it out here. So single dimensional array with steps of 5. Okay. With sequence of integers with steps of 5. Right. So now we know how to use the function. You have to use the arange function. Okay. So h is equal to np.arange. Okay. It's not arrange. It's arange, which you want to start from 0. You want to go on to 30. Okay, sequence of integers from 0 to 30, of course, and steps of 5. Okay, if we do it this way, okay, now if I print age, it's gonna give me 0, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Okay, it starts from 0, that's why. If I start from 1, it's gonna give me 1, 6, 11, 16, 21, 26. Right, so that's how this works. Now let me make it back to 0 and we can proceed. Okay, now what I want to do is create a single dimensional array. Okay, of 10 values in a range of 0 to 5. Okay, now how do we do that? Create a single dimensional values of 10 in the range of 0 to 5. Okay, now what I do is I do G is equal to np dot line space, lin space. Okay, this is a new function that you need to know. I want to do it from 0 to 5 and I want to add 10 values. Okay, now gh, sorry, this should be I, isn't it? So let's do print I and see what we get. So I'm getting 0, 0.555, 111, 1.666. So it's adding 0.55555 to all of these, and I'm getting the final value 5.00. So basically these are 10 values between 0 to 5 that I'm getting. Okay, so 0 and 5 included, there are 10 values in the middle. There are 10 values total. Okay, so I can do this from 0 to 50 also. Okay, and again I'm gonna get this, right? So this is that line space, np.line space. So you can create arrays in many different ways in NumPy. Now let's go on to something called reshaping an array. Okay, so let's make an array. Okay, let me make a nice multi-dimensional array. Let me add 3 rows to it. And 4 columns. So this is my array. Okay, let me just print it out for you. Okay, and let me also print out its shape. There. Okay, there you go. So this is my array, 3 rows, 4 columns, and its shape is 3 by 4. Now what I want to do is, I want to make a new array k, and I want to reshape it. I want to reshape it. Okay, k is equal to, I want to reshape j, so j dot reshape into brackets. I want a new shape, okay, which is like 2 comma 2 comma 3. Okay, so here what I'm doing is reshaping array having shape 3 comma 4 to a new one having shape 2 comma 2 comma 3. Okay, Now let's see how k looks like. Okay, and let's print the shape of k. So this is how we do it. Let's print this. K looks like this: 2, 2, 3. So there is one list of two lists in it, and then another list of two lists in it, and each of them having three components. Okay, so that is 2, 2, 3. So that's a three-dimensional list, right? So this is an example of a three-dimensional list created using this. Okay, now there's something called flatten an array. So if you have a multi-dimensional array and you just want to flatten it where all the elements are just enlisted in a single list. So enlist all elements of a multi-dimensional array in a single list, single array. Okay, how do you do that? Is by flattening. Okay, so what we do is we'll take array k, which we just created. Okay, and we'll create a new one. L is equal to k dot flatten, and that's it, right? And we are going to print L. Now let's see how this works. There you go. All the components of k, which are these components, right? These components are all printed here in a flattened form. So that is that. So this is k dot flatten. Okay. So these are a few things that you can do. Few ways in which you can create arrays, different shapes. You can make them change their shapes and put different things. You can add placeholders. A lot of things that you can do with arrays while you're creating them. Now in the next session, we'll learn about indexing arrays and then more about doing mathematical operations, etc. with them. So see you in the next session.